him sitting there on a machine and coding. I have seen him getting into stuff, doing research about certain things and getting back to you with the analysis and the answers, and also uh, seen him doing his regular day-to-day stuff. So in given situation, how to take things up and what to do at different levels is incredible that I've seen from Parag. Um, from someone like Raj, I think, how do you give a space to your employees, and how do you really listen to them? I have seen Raj like listening to us very patiently, and then he will give his response. And that's pretty incredible for someone at that position, right? To give you that space and listen into your thoughts. Someone like Niku, you should see him when we go to the conferences. The way he dwells and gels up with the people so easily, so efficiently, like and so smoothly. I always want to do that, and I'm not good at that. I know that. But yeah, he can go to a stranger and start talking to a stranger, and few minutes after that, you'll think that they're just best buddies. That's his quality. Um, Mike, the way he keeps himself fit. I don't know how many of you know, but Mike is a regular runner. He goes in different marathons, and it's just incredible to see how he keeps himself that much fit all the time. Um, there are many individuals. I think I cannot just recall everyone's name right now. Um, Akshay, for example, like I know Akshay almost now for 8, 9 years, and it's just incredible to see how many qualities a one man can have, right? Like we all know that how good sound he is technically, but in addition to that, there are so many different things that he does. Like he plays musical instruments, he reads so many books, he has knowledge, very deep knowledge about Indian classical music. Philosophical discussions I have had with him so many times. Uh, and it's just every time when you see that, you just feel that, okay, he's the kind of a guy who knows everything. Like if you ask him something and he'll have the answer for it. So, and in personal life, like outside of Chenoa, um, again, there are many individuals. I think I love the way Mr. Modi markets himself. He's a great campaigner from a marketing standpoint. Um, I like fearless leaders like Richard Branson, the head of Virgin Group. Um,
Mhm.
there are many more. I'm sorry, I cannot just recall all the names.
I think this was an answer in brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so
And
many
what
names, right? Like I don't have one role model to be honest with you. Like yeah, even my dad, like he gave me so many learnings in life. He's
Yes.
like one of them as well. So
So I've got
Okay.
one anonymous questions in terms of the bosses again. That since we are on the topic of bosses, can you share one incident with toughest boss and one with the easygoing boss?
one incident with the toughest boss. Easy going boss. Toughest boss I think was I will not name. I don't want to really name her, but she was there back in Carecentrics. She was a client, and I used to report into her. So people who know that will know the name as well. She was really tough. That boss, she was my manager. I used to report into her in Carecentrics, and she will keep a tab of when you're coming in, going out, um, whether you're working, you're not working, all those stuff. So it was pretty tough working with her. But after a while, we opened up pretty well, and then we gelled up pretty well as well. So then it was a very smooth relationship. But initially, yeah, it was tough for me. And I'm sorry, what was another question?
Easygoing one.
Easygoing one, I would say Anil. I have seen him as a very easygoing person. In the past, when I used to work with him, he was a very, very easygoing boss.
Okay. So there is one question asked by Marna. She says, "Does Florica like pets? What if the baby wants a pet?"
Florica does not like Pat, and that's good for me. Baby is not old enough to demand that right now. But we'll see. If she demands, then I don't know whether we'll agree or not. We have not even thought about that right now.
Okay. So this question was asked through the link as well, and Arinjay has posted here as well. So he's saying, is RJHS Phase 2 really a myth or is it real?
I think it's a reality. Okay, it's not a myth. It's just the timing. I would say we constantly talk to the folks at RJ Health, and they agree that they want the phase two. As you know, the phase two is indication functionality, and that is something that they need. But it's just the timing that is not allowing them to proceed further. If you, I mean, we can have a separate session where I can explain how things are at RJ right now and what they are trying to achieve in a near goal. But I'm hopeful that we'll get the phase two pretty soon.
Okay. Pradipta, again, he's asking, do you get angry when hungry?
Do I get angry when I'm hungry?
Yes.
No,
Do you get
no,
happy? No.
no, I don't. No.
Okay. Pushpak is asking a question, where you are seated currently. Looks like office, there is no lockdown.
Oh no, this is just Teams virtual background. I'm sitting in my basement.
Okay, I'll take one anonymous question here. How good is agile methodology as per you? Do you think it works for all projects?
Okay, there are two questions basically. So the answer to the first one is I believe the agile is the way forward. So it's definitely a good way of working. Um, and the second question was,
Does it work for all projects?
does it work for our project? Yes and no. I think at this given point, I don't think it works for all the projects because agile is a mindset, and you have to make sure that everyone who is involved with the project gets into that mindset even before you start implementing it. So that mindset is required purely from its methodology standpoint. Yes, it works for all the projects, but the mindset is required, and I don't think that everyone across any organizations on the globe is completely ready to adopt that mindset.
Okay. Prajapati, he has a query. Rate Chanova as a company and as a team on the scale of 1 to 10 with a reason.
11. The answer is 11. Why do you think I'm here for last decade? I mean, I don't need a reason really to explain that, but I think there are many reasons to rate it that way because it feels like a family. That's the first thing. I'm comfortable enough to open up to certain things. I can discuss, brainstorm on the ideas that I have. If I have suggestions, if I have recommendations, if there are things that I want to do, I can do it freely with anyone in the organization, and that for me is like 11 on 10, and that's the primary and the best reason. And the other thing is that the way management and senior leadership has been focusing on working towards newer technologies, getting into a different space at this juncture is also very promising. So I look forward to that, and that's why I think we are doing great. So we are 11 out of 10 actually.
Okay. Ram is asking how difficult it is handling the clients from home.
How difficult it is handling a client from home. Um, it gets little difficult because there are a few clients who wants you to be there who wants to see you every now and then. And because of the situation, that part is missing, but we are trying our best. We keep in touch with them over phone calls, text messages, as well as Teams call where we can see them. We are doing as much outreach as possible with all of our clients so that they feel that we are here for them. It is a little bit difficult, but I think we are managing it like everyone else.
Okay. Priya Nair has a query. She says, what is your greatest achievement and failure? What did you learn from it?
That's that's a difficult question to answer. Um, I think the greatest achievement so far has been to live up to the expectations that I have set up for myself, and that keeps on changing every day. To be honest with you, so I cannot really define one moment which is like a greatest achievement, or one activity or a task where I felt that it's a greatest achievement for me, because different stages of life gives you different type of goals, and then they define a different type of achievement for you. Uh, Failure is something when you want to do something and you're not able to do that, and then you go back and work hard towards it. And in my personal life, there have been some instances where that has happened to me. And with family strength and God's grace, we were able to come back and fight it back. So, not going into details pretty much there, I would say that those are the things that keeps on happening to you. It's just about your own strength on how do you tackle them.
Okay. Shabnam says, what are the skills set required for effective leaders' process?
I think the most important skill is to listen for me. Um, because if you are listening well, that means you are listening everything and anything around you. Keep your eyes and ears open is the best skill any of the managers can have, because that gives them a lot of insight into things and gives them power of informed decision making.
Okay. Here is a question from Mike, quite a popular thing. What song is your favorite to sing while you are in the shower?
Oh, Mike, there are many different songs depending on my mood. Um, like, see, most of my songs that I like are Bollywood songs, are Hindi songs. That also include some of the Gujarati songs, and depending on my mood, the song keeps on changing. It's not just one song.
Continuing the same question, Micheline asks, talking about songs, which one do you sing to your adult?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking up, Krishna. Krishna, can you come up again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Niraj, the question is, which one do you sing to your adorable daughter at night?
Which one do I sing to her? The fact is that I sleep before her, so she keeps on playing, and I'm snoring almost at that time. But if I have to, there's a song that Florica sings to her that I like the most, and I also try to just repeat that is Chanda hai tu, mera tara hai tu. That's the song that she sings to her, and I like that very much.
The next question is, how are you managing your time in lockdown?
Very effectively, in fact. I have been focusing on different activities. I am keeping my schedule pretty much intact, as if I was working in the office. I get up very early. I do my morning course, and then I get onto the calls. Different a typical workday that follows. Post that, I have spent and invested a lot of time in self-learning during these days. I have spent a lot of time keeping myself healthy and fit in these times. And on top of it, I have a 22 months old daughter. So she keeps me very much busy as well.
Nice. There is one more question anonymously. I am a junior developer at Chenova. What courses would you suggest for me during this lockdown?
You have to identify your own poison, I would say. There is not one answer or one technology that I can suggest, right? Because I don't know what type of background do you have and what type of technologies have you already worked on, and where do you want to go next. I'm pretty much open to have that discussion separately with you and then suggest something out of it, because I cannot just give you one blanket answer right now. We need to have that conversation. I need to understand you better to give a good a response and suggest you something which will work out for you. Please feel free to reach out to me on Teams or email wherever you want, and we will have that discussion.
Nice. What is client manager's role in success?
Sorry, it's breaking again, Krishna.
What is client manager's role in project estimation?
I think client managers has the perspective from a client standpoint, and that plays a very vital role in the estimation point. We when we receive estimations from our project management team, we get into the discussion with them, keeping the client's perspective in mind, because that is also essential when we go back and present those things to the client. So that's the very vital and a major role that client manager plays. In addition to that, client manager also has perspective from, insider information and understanding of the client's business. So there are questions that comes across from a business standpoint, making sure that the estimation team understood the requirement well. They know what they are up against, and the breakdown that they have provided in the estimation, everything else is matching up with the expectation that the client has from the other side.
Nice. Reading out, there is one skill you have to consider. Which do you think is the most important when dealing with
Sorry, Krishna, again, it's not clear.
Oh, one. Hello. You able to hear me now?
A little better.
Which skill do you select the most when
No, Krishna, sorry.
Yeah, so it's just what Sweetie is asking. If you had to pick one, which skill have you found is the most important when dealing with clients?
When dealing with clients, I would say the same as I mentioned earlier, listening to them and making sure that you provide them a solution, or at least offer them a solution that works out for them. Keeping in mind the benefits or the basically benefits of our own team as well. There are situations when you go back and propose certain things to the client, and they would readily agree on that. So if you listen to them very carefully, then you'll know exactly what their needs are, and based on that, then you can react in a way that works out for both us as well as them.
Okay. So Kiran Dhanak is asking a question. What is your weekend like?
What is my weekend like? Before lockdown or during lockdown? Because completely upside down.
I think he means during lockdown.
During lockdown, typical weekend is cleaning the house, um, taking care of the stuff that we have not during the week, um, binge watching some of the series or even movies, and just spending time with the daughter.
Yeah. Nitendra, he's asking, what is your favorite sport or
Cricket,
sports?
cricket,
Cricket.
cricket.
Okay. Mike is asking, who do you think is better looking? You, Varun Dhawan, or Ayushmann Khurrana?
You said Varun Dhawan,
Or Ayushmann Khurrana.
Ayushmann Khurrana.
Yeah, that Vicky Donor movie.
Yeah, Mike,
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Ayushmann.
So not you.
Oh, not.
You're better looking.
Okay. Parag is asking a question. What is one thing you want to do if you are made the CEO of Amazon for a day?
I'll stop firing people who are criticizing my company. Uh, I'll work with them to get things to turn out. But yeah, I'll stop firing them.
Okay, there's this funny question here which Mohammed he has sent in the chat. What is your favorite? I think it means hard drink.
Oh, you mean alcoholic drinks?
Yes.
Oh, there are two of them based on the season. If it's summer, it's beer. If it's winter, it's wine.
Oh. Okay, Florica is asking, during the lockdown, where and how you are spending your me time? Your curious wife wants to know.
Um, that is during my morning runs. That's where I spend my me time.
Okay, so I'll take one anonymous question here. This is a rapid fire. So it's tea or coffee,
T,
QA or developer,
QA.
Mumbai Indians or Gujarat Lions.
Sorry, Mumbai Indians, sir?
Gujarat Lions.
Gujarat Lion.
Is that even a question? There is no Gujarat Lions right now. So Mumbai Indians.
Niraj.
Okay, work from home or work from office,
Work from office.
Mumbai or New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Ah. Machine learning or augmented reality.
Machine learning.
Okay, you win the hamper.
The hamper has more questions for you.
Yes.
Shoot.
So
About
there is.
watching series.
Yeah, go ahead, Krish. Sorry.
Series during spoke about watching series during lockdown. So one anonymous question is
Uh,
suggest a series to binge on.
I'm sorry, could not hear you again, Christian.
Oh,
Your voice was breaking.
So she's asking an anonymous question, which is suggest a series to bring on.
Oh, suggest series to bin. Game of Thrones. If you have not watched it, go and watch that.
Okay, two more.
Two more. You want three total. Second will be Breaking Bad, definitely, and the third would be either A Man in the High Castle or Westworld.
Okay. Okay. Eloy is asking, which is your favorite movie?
Which is my favorite movie? There are so many of them. Again, It's difficult to choose, but yeah, I can go safe here. Andaz apna apna.
Ah, nice choice.
Yeah.
So on the movies, Anand is asking a question. Which movie or movies motivate you the most? What are you currently watching?
Uh, Anand, Lakshya motivated me the most. Hrithik Roshan's movie. I think it was released in 2005 or 6. Uh, and recently it was Dangal that motivated me the most. And what am I currently watching? A bunch of things. I'm watching 000 on Amazon. And I am also trying to finish up Star Wars. I already finished up the original trilogy. I'm done with episode 1 and 2, and probably this weekend I'll finish up episode 3, and then we'll move on to the post episodes. I think 7, 8, 9.
Okay. There is this anonymous question here. What are your sleep timings? As most of the time you seem available, and we are not able to skip you up.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I am typically I'm in bed between 10 to 11, and I get up between 6 to 7 in the morning. So I get a good 7 8 hours of sleep, and that's not true. I mean, you can skip me during those hours.
Okay. Vijaya, she's asking, Neeraj, you spent a decade in Chenoa and served various roles and challenges. Did they come to you exactly when you are aspiring for it?
No, no, I don't think so. There were times where I was placed in a situation when I was not aspiring for it. And there were times when, yeah, I wanted to do something and the opportunity presented itself. So, but initially, no, I don't think so. The first experience was one of the care centrics projects uh, where I did not think that I would end up in a position where I did eventually when I started working on the project when I was back in Mumbai. It's a long story. There's a lot of history there, but everything ended up being good for me. So that kicked off many things for me, and I'm really, really grateful and thankful for that experience. But yeah,
Okay,
Shabnam, she's asked. Yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
there's an interesting question anonymously submitted. If you had 25 hours a day, how would you use your extra time?
I spend that time with my daughter. I always feel that I don't spend enough time with her, and I'll just spend that time with her.
What is that one skill you think everybody should have in life?
Optimism. That's not a skill, actually.
It's a skill. It's a behavioral skill. So yeah,
Okay. Well, yeah, define it that way then. Yes, optimism. I think everyone should have optimism. You should always see glass half full.
if you could change one thing about yourself, what would you choose?
You have to change. I think I'm not a good financial manager. I don't manage my finances that well, and that's the one thing that I would really like to change. But I don't think that's possible in this lifetime.
Is that possible? Not being good at finances, being good, Jew?
I see. I don't know, to be honest with you. But then that's why I have a very, very good partner in my wife who does that pretty well for me. So,
What's the advice you have ever heard?
what is a good advice that I've ever heard? Krishna, sorry, is that a question?
Yeah.
Oh,
Question. The
okay,
best
okay.
advice you have ever heard.
Oh, I think I already answered that question in different questions. But it said that being optimist about certain things, and uh, being patient about certain things is the best advice I've ever heard. My dad actually taught me that. He always said that keep the optimism alive in you, and be patient as much as you can, and that will work wonders for you.
So there are two questions joined. What
Mhm.
you wanted to be when you were a child while you grew up, and what you want to do while you retire.
Sure. It's a funny. I can recollect this. Like back in, I don't know which grade I was, and they have you write an essay of what do you want to be when you grow up. And I don't know why, but I said that I wanted to be a computer engineer back then. And eventually I hold a computer engineering degree now. But that was like, I don't know when, probably in my primary years. But after that, there was a point when I wanted to be related to arts, like something related to music. I've always wanted to do that. We'll see how that goes. And after retirement, yes, I want to spend time learning music, getting myself attached to it, devote to it. I'm a bit of a spiritual person as well, so I'll spend some time on that aspect as well after my retirement.
There's a lot of singing thing coming on. Neeraj, we might just request you to sing a song at the end
I'm
of this.
not gonna. I'm not gonna sing today. It's not happening today.
Related to your singing, what is that one song that you can hear in loop? You will not get tired of it ever.
Any Kishore Kumar songs. I'm a big Kishore Da fan. Um, any of his songs, just you can turn them on in a loop, and I will never ever get tired of them.
So Sohil asks, what's the secret of maintaining your calm while dealing with multiple clients and teams? How do you manage your time?
Uh, what is the secret of maintaining the calm? So you want to know the secret recipe, secret sauce. Um, Again, I'll say the patience part of it, that plays a very major role. Keeping a calm, I think it's just in my nature that I don't get worked up pretty soon. Um, so when I'm managing or dealing with different clients, and let's say in a difficult situations, I try to keep that patience and the calm hat on as much as I can. There are times when you feel that if you are agitated, just disconnect yourself for a few minutes and take a deep breath and get back in the game. I have tried that, and has worked out pretty well for me. How do I manage my time? I keep a very strict routine, especially these days. As I said earlier, I plan my day in a way that I spend time on each and every different things that I have to. Typically, I look at my calendar a day in advance so that I know before going to bed, I will always look at my next day's calendar so I know what's in line for me in the morning. Because as everyone knows, typically our mornings are very, very busy on the calls. Um, and then also plan my rest of the day accordingly, like what do I need to do, what are the deliverables. So always plan, I take one day at a time, and plan the day accordingly and plan my time accordingly.
Talking about your time, there is one person who said you're almost always available on Teams or otherwise. Do you even sleep?
Yeah, I do, right? I already said that I do. I'm available on Teams because that's a good forum or a way for us to communicate with each other. And I have Teams on my cell phone, so even if I'm not in front of a machine, if I get a ping on my phone, I just respond to that. And I think that's just part of the nature, nothing else.
That one thing you expect from managing an offshore development team. That one skill or one thing every manager should have.
Communication. Think, communicate. Talk to everyone, talk to your counterparts, talk to your client managers, talk to your clients. Just communicate. Everything else is manageable. We can take care of any situation if you just communicate.
Nice. Okay, this is asked anonymously. Who is your all-time favorite manager?
My all-time favorite manager.
Are you really going to answer that?
I'm just trying to think because there are many. Again, see, you go through different phases in your life. You go even in your professional career. You go through different. You move through different companies. You have different managers. Even in client side, you have different managers that you report into. So there's not just one person that you can name. There are many.
Okay.
Okay. So there is one question asked by Shabnam. What would you view as a success?
What would I view as a success? Depending on whom you are, depending on what you consider success, I think every small wins are a success for me. Um, if given a project, let's say even if you have a project of 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, or a 2 year timeline, but if you achieve your first sprint successfully, that's a success. Because each individual successes contributes towards a larger goal, and that keeps you motivated, and it helps you go through any hurdles that can come across during the course. So celebrate all the small wins, and that's what the success is for me.
Yeah. So Kiran Mistry is asking, how do you manage follow-ups with almost all the projects and keep track of them?
I use my calendar very effectively, Kiran. Um, all my follow-ups and across all the different projects, there is between my calendar and my personal notes, I try to manage that.
Okay. Pradipta, he's asking, when you feel like dancing.
When do I feel like dancing?
Yeah. Yes.
That's not very often, Pradipta. But these days, my daughter, she pushes me to dance a lot because whenever music is on, she'll start dancing, and then she will ask you to dance along with you, well, along with her. So, but I don't feel like dancing. No, it's not something that I will stand up and start dancing.
Vidya Saudagar, she's asking, what creates a huge amount of value to clients?
So I did not get that correctly, Rex. Can you come up again?
Yes. Vidya says, what creates a huge amount of value to the clients?
What creates a huge amount of value with the clients?
To the client.
To the clients.
There are many aspects, I think, to that answer, but transparency, according to me, creates a huge value. If you genuinely go back to your client and explain them the situation and talk to them honestly as well as with full transparency, that creates a huge value, according to me.
Okay. Raja is asking, what causes you to feel stressed? What gives you confidence?
Raja, as I said before, it's difficult to uh, work me up. I don't get stressed that often. Uh, there are situations I would not disagree that I was under stress, uh, but that has to be like a very 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 extreme situations when I get stressed. And what gives me confidence is the team who is supporting all of us, because in my experience throughout this many years, I have seen that the team always stands up to the occasion, and they support and they deliver. Even though we sometimes we get failure in the first instance, we come back stronger, and then we deliver what has been promised to the client. So that gives me confidence. Knowing the fact that we have people who are supporting us all the time gives me a lot of confidence.
Okay. Akshata, she's asking, what will be your three wishes if a gene comes out of the bottle?
I don't know how to answer that. I have not really prepared for that. I'm not prepared for that. Three wishes. I mean, one wish would be I would always want my daughter to be safe, healthy, and prosper in her life. I would want my parents to be safe and healthy, and everyone that I know, my family, my friends. But there's nothing specific that I have thought that I would just ask as a wish.
Nice. There is one question asked anonymously. When you visited India last time, why didn't you come to Mumbai office?
Because Mumbai was not in my itinerary last time. That was my first visit with my daughter after her birth. So most of our time was spent with the families on both the side, with the friends as well. And we did not even come to Mumbai. So if we would have been in Mumbai, I'm sure I would have visited and stopped by. But we were just not in the city, and it was not planned at all because of my daughter. Maybe next time.
Okay. We are almost done. We'll take one last question, which is, or rather two last questions. One is from Karen. If you were not a computer engineer, what would you be?
I would be doing something in music,
Nice.
something singing, playing instruments, something.
Raja asked, if we had a budget for any one thing to be more effective, what would you want? That is in Chenova's perspective. If we can improve one and we had a budget for it, which thing will you select?
Um, I think I would go further in our IoT and ML practices and invest further in them because the things that we see right now from a trends and industry standpoint, both of those areas are pretty hot and would just like to pursue them.
All right, Niraj. I think you have answered all the questions really well. There are few more questions pending, but we'll see how to take care of it possibly in the next episode of AMA. How
Yeah,
are you feeling now after 1 hour of answering all these questions?
I'm I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. I think people would know me better now. And if you still have questions, if you want to discuss something with me, as you know, I'm available on Teams. There were questions where people said that I'm always available. So yeah, just feel free to ping me, and I'll answer.
Thank you so much, Neeraj, again. Thank you
Thank you.
everybody for joining in. It was an amazing 1 hour. Sorry for interruption between due to internet. Thank you, Manjari and Kiran, for taking over when Rex and I got lost. Thank you, everybody. We'll meet shortly for the episode 3 of AMA. We'll keep you all posted for it, and the recorded session will be available soon to you guys.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Be
Thank
safe.
you.